My phone lights up with Mom's custom ringtone, the old country ballad she used to hum over simmering pots during Sunday dinners, when the house still felt warm instead of strategic. I tap speaker and settle deeper into my office chair, laptop balanced against my knees, a spreadsheet of quarterly projections glowing across the screen. "Kala, sweetheart, are you tied up?" Her voice floats through, bright and buoyant, that particular sparkle reserved for announcements she believes will delight. "Just wrapping up a proposal for a healthcare startup," I say, minimizing columns of revenue forecasts. "What's going on?" "Well, I have some wonderful news." She pauses, letting anticipation stretch. "Your brother just bought that gorgeous Tudor in Oakwood Hills, the one with the stone walkway and those incredible maple trees." My fingers hover motionless above the keyboard. Finn bought in Oakwood Hills, the gated enclave where listings begin at $500,000, the same neighborhood where I was outbid last spring on a Tudor with maple trees I'd already pictured stringing lights through. "Yes, they close next week. Your father and I are over the moon." I sit up straighter. "That's surprising. Last month he said prices were outrageous." "We helped a little," she replied lightly. "Gave him $85,000 for the down payment. Nothing brings us more joy than seeing our children secure." The room seems to tilt. 85,000. I grip the edge of my desk. "Mom, that's incredibly generous. You know how it is. Finn's building his future, and Oakwood is ideal once they start a family." She softens her tone. "You've always been so independent, sweetie. We figured you wouldn't need assistance." Independent. Translation: self-sufficient enough to overlook. My phone vibrates with a banking alert. Unusual activity detected. Attempted access to closed joint account ending 4582. The account I shut down 3 weeks ago. The one I opened years ago so Dad could manage expenses when he lost insurance. "Mom, I need to call you back. Something just came up." "Always busy. That's our Kala. Will you join us for brunch Sunday?" Memory intrudes. Last month's dinner. Dad praising Finn's temporary landscaping job. Finally doing real work. My consulting firm, the one that covered their property taxes last year, dismissed as just advisory. "Kala, you still there?" "I have to go, Mom." I hang up before the tremor in my voice betrays me and dial my attorney. Morgan Cooper's office. "It's Kala Whitaker. Is she available? It's urgent." Moments later, Morgan's measured voice steadies the line. "Kala, what happened?" "My parents tried accessing the old joint account. It's closed. The attempt was logged. And they just gifted Finn $85,000 for a house, right before attempting a withdrawal." Silence hums. "I see. What action would you like to take?" I open a fresh spreadsheet. The title forms with deliberate keystrokes. Family Karma Audit. Row 1. 85,000 gifted to Finn for a home purchase. 0 extended to Kala. "Kala?" Morgan prompts gently. "I'm here." I slide the framed Christmas photo from my desk, the one of us in matching sweaters, and turn it face down. I'm just getting started. Sunday sunlight spills through bay windows as I kneel beside Mom, angling her phone to capture everyone around the patio table. Dad and Finn lean close with Taylor, smiles wide and coordinated. "One more," I say, snapping another photo. A notification drops down. My thumb graces it accidentally. Whitaker family chat. No Kala. My lungs lock. 3 years of messages scroll upward as I swipe. Dad, closing tomorrow on the Oakwood house. Finally beat those California buyers. Finn, the family who outbid us last spring moved to Seattle. Karma. The same house. The Tudor I lost. Mom, remember to check Kala's joint account before she notices. Graham, I'll stop by the bank Tuesday. Finn, Little Miss Independent won't even look. Too busy consulting. Taylor, you guys are terrible. Mom, family takes care of family. My hands turn numb. I nearly drop the phone. Kala, done yet? Mom asks. I pass it back, muscles operating independently of thought. Perfect photos, I manage. I return to my seat, acutely aware of distance. They cluster at one end, shoulders brushing, voices overlapping. I occupy the opposite corner like a distant relative. Finn leans forward. I'm thinking we redo the roof immediately. Inspector says 5 years left, but why wait? Copper detailing, architectural shingles. That sounds pricey, Taylor chimes in. About 18,000, Finn says casually. I sip water, numbers assembling automatically. That's substantial. How will you finance it on your landscaping income? The question is calm, curious. Silence slams down. Mom's back straightens. Why are you always so confrontational? Dad lowers his fork with precision. That tone isn't attractive, Kala. Men don't appreciate women dissecting finances. Finn laughs. Feminist Kala counting pennies again. Some of us like to enjoy life. We're helping with landscaping, Mom interjects quickly. Those maple trees have so much potential. The same trees I once imagined building a reading bench beneath. Taylor squeezes Mom's hand. Family supports family. You helped with my student loans too. I'm so grateful. My phone vibrates. A message from Greer Hollis. We need to discuss Florida.
Cousin Greer, the one who disappeared after a heated dispute over Grandma's estate. Another buzz. Morgan. Forged signatures found on timeshare documents. Call immediately. The patio door opens. Rebecca steps in, poised and professional, carrying a folder. Apologies for interrupting brunch. These require immediate review. Her gaze tells me more than her words. Mom stiffens. You brought work here? If business continues to come before family, we may need to reconsider holiday invitations, she adds sharply. Dad's expression darkens. This attitude harms relationships, Kala. Your brother never behaves this way. Finn smirks over his mimosa. Maybe if you relaxed, you'd find a husband. I accept the folder, oddly detached from the sting. For the first time, the pattern is unmistakable. My independence reframed as arrogance. My success repackaged as flaw. Thank you, Rebecca. I'll review these. I step inside, phone buzzing again. Morgan. Documents received. Situation is worse than anticipated. In the bathroom, I lock the door and brace my hands against cool marble. The woman in the mirror looks steady, not shattered, not surprised, certain. The question crystallizes. Continue funding those who weaponize your strength, or end the cycle? My shoulders square in answer. Inside Rebecca's folder, 15 years of financial records. Highlighted, tapped, cross-referenced. A sticky note rests on top. You were right. It's documented. At midnight, my phone lights up. Finn. I answer on the third ring. Kala, thank God. Inspection found black mold in the attic. We need $18,000 before closing. I pour water, stall for a breath. What did the bank say?
They won't adjust this late. It's temporary, 60 days max. Have you asked Mom and Dad? Pause. They suggested you, said your healthcare contract has you flush. Of course. I can't help Finn. Can't or won't? His tone sharpens. This is family. Yes, it is. I end the call, block his number. Morning brings 3 voicemails from Mom, escalating from confusion to injury. Family supports family, she insists. That's how we raised you. I delete them all. Downtown, autumn sky stretches bright and indifferent. Rebecca meets me at the elevator. Your 10 o'clock canceled, but your parents are in the conference room. They're here? 20 minutes. Said it's urgent. Kensington clients arrive in 45. Perfect. I enter the room. Mom stands, arms extended. Dad surveys the office like a real estate appraiser. We've been worried, Mom says. I remain standing. I have a client meeting soon. What's urgent? Dad clears his throat. It's about Finn's house. Inspection complications. I know, he called. Then you understand, Mom presses. We've done so much already. Perhaps you could cover this small repair? Small. Number, I say. Mom blinks. Dad's jaw tightens. Kala Elizabeth. Your brother needs support. And I needed support last spring when I lost that house. You told me to be patient. Silence. Rebecca appears at the doorway. Kensington clients are here. Thank you. I turn back. I have work to do. Mom's expression fractures. We don't understand why you're behaving this way. Like what? Independent? They leave with brittle smiles and vague assurances. 2 hours later, during a presentation, my phone vibrates again. Credit alert. I step into the hallway and open the notification. Unusual activity detected on Visa account number 4719, an account I never opened. The afternoon becomes a blur of phone calls and documentation. A credit card in my name with $9,600 in charges at home improvement stores. Family vacation photos on Facebook from a Lake Michigan trip I knew nothing about. A collection agency calling about Finn's truck loan with my forged signature as cosigner. This is a clear pattern, Morgan says when I call her. The attorney's voice carries the professional calm of someone accustomed to family betrayals. How soon can you meet? Tomorrow morning. Bring whatever documentation you have. And Kala? Consider changing your locks. I hang up as my office door opens. It's Rebecca, holding a thick manila envelope. Your cousin Greer called while you were on the phone. She asked me to give you this in person, not by mail. Rebecca hesitates. She said it's about your grandparents' Florida property. My fingers tremble slightly as I open the envelope. Inside, a stack of notarized documents show a timeshare sale from 3 years ago with my signature on the transfer paperwork, a signature I never made. More damning is the second document, a copy of my grandparents' will, highlighting a separate inheritance designated specifically for me, money I never received. My phone rings. Morgan. I've reviewed the preliminary documentation, she says without preamble.
We have a solid paper trail of financial exploitation spanning at least 5 years. This isn't just family taking advantage, Kella. This crosses into criminal territory. I feel something shift inside me. The crushing weight of betrayal, but something unexpected. Lightness. While organizing my desk drawer, I find the receipt for the platinum watch I bought Dad last Christmas. $750 I couldn't really afford, but spent anyway, wanting to see his face light up. Attached is a return slip dated the 26th of December. Store credit issued to Graham Whitaker. $750. The next morning, I meet Greer at a coffee shop downtown. My cousin looks both older and more resolved than when I last saw her at Grandma's funeral. They did the same to me, she says without preamble. After I questioned why Uncle Graham was handling Grandma's estate instead of the designated executor, suddenly I wasn't invited to family functions. Mom started telling everyone I was having mental health issues. I wrap my hands around my mug. How much have they taken? From me? About $40,000 in inheritance I can prove. From you? She slides another folder across the table. Based on these records, nearly $300,000 over the past decade. My stomach drops, but my voice remains steady. How did you get these? Aunt Iris left her email logged in on my laptop last Thanksgiving. I've been gathering evidence ever since. She meets my eyes directly. They've been selling off family properties for years, Kalla. Properties with our names on the deeds. That afternoon, Morgan calls again. I've spoken with my partners. We'd like to handle your case pro bono. Her voice carries unusual emotion. This is elder abuse in reverse. You're not alone in this situation. Later that day, my mentor Diane suggests a comprehensive documentation strategy for the inevitable family confrontation. Create packets for each person, everything organized chronologically. No emotion, just facts. Rebecca stays late 3 nights running, helping organize years of financial records into color-coded evidence packets. You know this means war, she seals the last envelope. Number, I shake my head. This means justice. I send a certified letter requesting a family meeting at my home office on Saturday. They try to reschedule 3 times. I remain firm. Finn calls Thursday night, his voice slurred and angry. You need to stop harassing the family, Kalla. Mom's blood pressure's through the roof because of your bullshit. I'll see you Saturday at 10, I reply, and hang up. After he calls back 6 times, I block his number too. Friday evening, Rebecca helps me prepare the improvised V conference room at home. As she arranges water glasses and notepads with precision, I reveal the final piece. There's something else they don't know about. I unlock my desk drawer and remove a leather-bound binder labeled Family Karma Audit. Rebecca's eyes widen as I open it, revealing meticulous records dating back 15 years. Bank statements, text messages, emails, photos of checks, loan agreements, never honored. You've been keeping track all along. Yes, I run my finger down the final column of the spreadsheet. $297,842.16. What are you going to do? Rebecca asks. I close the binder with a quiet snap. I'm going to give them exactly 1 chance to make this right. The conference table in my home office gleams under recessed lighting. I've positioned everyone with precision. My parents on the far side, Finn beside them, Greer to my right, and attorney Morgan Cooper at the head of the table. Rebecca stands quietly by the credenza, managing the coffee service with the same efficiency she brings to our client presentations. Thank you all for coming. I open the leather portfolio that contains the records of my family's financial exploitation. I've asked you here to address some concerning patterns I've discovered. Mother fidgets with her pearl bracelet.
Really, Kalla? This formal setting seems excessive for a family chat. This isn't a chat. I slide the first document across the polished surface. This is a comprehensive accounting of financial support I've provided over the past decade. Father's face pales as the total at the bottom catches his eye. $297,842.63. Attorney Morgan distributes copies to everyone. Miss Whitaker has maintained meticulous records, as you can see. Finn scoffs, pushing the paper away. This is ridiculous. You're keeping score? Family doesn't count pennies. Apparently my pennies were the only ones being counted. I click the remote. The wall-mounted screen displays security footage from First National Bank. This was taken 3 months ago. That's you, Finn, using my driver's license and social security card to access my accounts. The room falls silent. Taylor shifts uncomfortably in her chair. After everything we've done for you, Mother whispers, her voice cracking with practiced emotion. How can you attack your family this way? Father adopts his puzzled expression, the same one he used when questioned about missing tools. From my garage. I don't recall any of these arrangements. My memory isn't what it used to be.
Finn stands abruptly, his chair scraping against hardwood. I'm not going to sit here while you attack Mom and Dad. I'll make sure everyone in the family knows how you're treating them. Please do. I press another button on the remote. Finn's voice fills the room. Cal is such a sucker. All you have to do is mention Dad's medical bills and she writes another check. The best part? She's so busy working, she never notices when a little extra disappears. His recorded laughter cuts through the room like broken glass. Finn lunges for the door. Morgan steps in front of it. I suggest you remain seated, Mr. Whitaker. We're just getting started. Greer clears her throat and opens her own folder. I have the documents regarding the Florida timeshare sale. She spreads papers across the table. These signatures were forged. The handwriting analysis confirms it. Mother's mascara begins to run. Father stares at the floor, knuckles white against his armrests. Identity theft carries serious penalties, Morgan explains, her voice steady and professional. Wire fraud, forgery, unauthorized account accesses are criminal offenses with potential jail time. Rebecca serves coffee with quiet efficiency, placing cups in front of each person. Nobody reaches for them. If you discovered your family had stolen your identity and taken nearly $300,000 from you, over a decade, I ask, looking each of them in the eye, would you pursue criminal charges or would you give them one last chance to make it right? The question hangs in the air. Mother's confident facade crumbles first. Her shoulders curl inward as she stares at the spreadsheet. We never meant... You meant exactly this, I interrupt. The text messages planning to access my account before she notices make your intentions clear. Finn jumps up again. This is insane. I'm leaving. Morgan doesn't move from her position by the door. There are 2 police officers in my car outside. One word from Miss Whitaker, and they'll come in with warrants. Father hasn't spoken since the evidence presentation began. He sits motionless, eyes fixed on the table. Mother's crying turns from delicate tears to ugly sobs. You can't do this to your family. You did this, I correct her. My voice remains steady despite the rage burning in my chest. Every time you called me independent while taking advantage of my generosity. Every time you celebrated Finn while dismissing my success. Every time you forged my signature or accessed my accounts without permission. Taylor stands suddenly. I didn't know any of this. She looks at Finn with disgust. You told me Calla approved those loans. Taylor, Finn reaches for her arm. She pulls away. Don't touch me. She grabs her purse and moves her at the door. Morgan steps aside to let her pass. The confident family unit that walked into my office an hour ago has disintegrated. Mother cries into a tissue. Father stares silently at the floor. Finn looks frantically between them, waiting for someone to fix the situation like they fixed everything else in his life. I close my portfolio with a decisive snap. Now, let's discuss how you're going to make this right. Mother dabs at her eyes with a tissue. The perfect shade of coral lipstick remains untouched despite her theatrical display. We just wanted to help Finn start his life, she says, voice wavering with practiced vulnerability. You were already so established with your business. Father leans forward, elbows on the polished conference table in my home office. We always intended to leave you more in the will to balance things out. His fingers tap a nervous rhythm against the mahogany surface. Finn, slouched in his chair, perks up. What we need is a family healing retreat, not all this legal nonsense. He gestures dismissively at Attorney Morgan, who sits beside me with perfect posture, her silver pen poised over her legal pad. Mother nods enthusiastically. Your father and I were thinking we could sign over our timeshare in Scottsdale as fair compensation. The association fees are reasonable, and you'd have a vacation spot whenever you want. The same worthless timeshare they couldn't sell last year, the one with a lien against it for unpaid maintenance fees. I maintain eye contact with each of them as I open the leather portfolio Morgan prepared. From it, I withdraw 2 sealed envelopes. I've brought 2 options today. My voice sounds different, lower, steadier than it's ever been in their presence. The first envelope contains a legal agreement for full repayment with interest over 5 years. I place it in the center of the table. The second contains criminal complaints for fraud, forgery, and identity theft, ready to file with the district attorney. The silence feels like ice cracking beneath their feet. I've supported this family for 15 years. I spread the documents before them like playing cards. Today, that ends. Morgan slides forward a thick folder. These bank statements show systematic transfers from Calla's accounts to yours over the past decade. She opens to a highlighted page. Here we have a credit check revealing multiple accounts opened in Calla's name without her authorization. Finn's face strains of color as Morgan continues. This notarized affidavit from the bank manager details your unauthorized access attempts to MissBravenix.com, Whitaker's account specifically, on the day you gave your son $85,000. Father stares at the floor. Mother's hands tremble. And these, Morgan taps a bound stack of papers, are text messages between family members discussing plans to access Calla's funds. Note the timestamps. They predate your gift to Finn by less than 24 hours. I stand, circling the table slowly. The room feels warmer now, my skin electric, with a power I've never allowed myself to claim. Mother. I stop behind her chair. You called me independent when you meant convenient. A reliable ATM who wouldn't ask questions. She flinches, but doesn't turn.
I move to Father. You taught me family comes first, then used that lesson against me. Every dollar I gave you was proof of my love, but never enough to earn yours. His shoulders hunch forward, as if bearing physical weight. I reach Finn last. You forged my signature while calling me for sisterly advice about investments. Remember those late-night calls? You were holding my credit card application in your hand, weren't you? Finn stares at the table, jaw tight. Morgan slides the repayment agreement forward with 2 black pens. This option allows for monthly payments over 60 months. It includes provisions for early repayment without penalty. The grandfather clock in the hallway takes 13 times before Mother reaches for a pen. Father follows. Then Finn. The scratch of pen on paper sounds like victory. Finn reaches into his wallet and extracts 3 credit cards. He places them on the table, face down. These have your name on them, he mumbles. We'll need to list the house, Father says quietly to Mother. The equestrian membership, too. Morgan catches my eye, a slight nod confirming this wasn't part of our strategy. They've arrived at this conclusion themselves. Greer, who has been silent throughout, speaks for the first time. And the Florida property? The one grandmother left to Calla and me? Mother's head snaps up. How did you... Public records. Greer answers calmly. The sale closed 3 years ago. Father signs the final page with a defeated flourish. We'll figure something out. An hour later, the house is empty except for Rebecca, who silently collects coffee cups and straightens chairs. They signed, I tell her, still not quite believing it myself. Of course they did. She squeezes my shoulder. They finally saw you. That evening, I returned from dinner with Morgan to find a blinking light on my answering machine. One new message. I press play, bracing myself for threats or manipulation. Mother's voice fills the room, strangely subdued. Calla, we need to talk about the house. I freeze, finger hovering over the delete button. Your house, she continues. The one in Oakwood Hills you lost in the bidding war. The buyers backed out yesterday. It's yours if you still want it. The message ends. The machine beeps, awaiting my command. I sit in the gathering darkness, weighing 15 years of history against one unexpected olive branch. The delete button glows red in the dimness. A month later, the real estate agent slides the papers across the weathered oak table. Just your signature here and here, Miss Whitaker. She tops her manicured nail against the flagged lines, her coral lipstick matching the folder spread between us. I sign my name with the fountain pen my mentor Diane gave me when I landed my first major client. The ink flows smooth and permanent across the page. Congratulations. The agent beams, collecting the documents with practiced efficiency. You know, we had a higher offer from a lovely family with 3 children, but the seller appreciated your all-cash offer. No financing contingencies, no inspection delays. No strings, I add, running my fingertips across the grain of the table. Exactly. She hands me a set of keys attached to a handcrafted leather fob. This one's paid in full. No mortgages, no loans, no strings. The keys feel substantial in my palm, solid brass that catches the light streaming through the cabin windows. Through the glass, I can see the lake shimmering under the afternoon sun, ripples catching the light like thousands of tiny mirrors. I stand alone in my new space after the agent leaves, breathing in the scent of cedar and pine. The silence wraps around me like a favorite blanket. Not the suffocating quiet of family dinners after asked uncomfortable questions, but the peaceful stillness of belonging only to myself. My phone chimes with a text from Morgan. Still coming at 4 for the official tour? I smile and type back. Champagne's already chilling. The mail carrier arrives as I'm arranging cheese and fruit on a serving board. I recognize the cream-colored envelope immediately. The same type my parents used for my college graduation card. The one that contained congratulations but no check. Unlike the generous gifts my brother received for much lesser accomplishments. This envelope feels different, heavier. Inside, I find a check for $3,500 and a handwritten note on my mother's monogram stationery. We're sorry. 2 words. No excuses. No justifications. No attempts to explain away years of financial exploitation. Just the first installment of repayment and an acknowledgement I never expected to receive. I place the check in a folder labeled restitution payments and continue preparing for my guests. Rebecca arrives first, carrying potted herbs for my kitchen windowsill. Greer follows with a hand-woven blanket in sunset colors. Morgan brings a bottle of expensive scotch and news that makes me pause while pouring water for the fresh flowers. Finn's house is listed as a short sale, she says, accepting the glass of champagne I offer.
Your parents sold their Cadillac in that boat your father was so proud of. They're moving into a senior apartment complex next month. I nod, feeling neither vindication nor sorrow. And the timeshare proceeds. Greer received her first payment yesterday. Morgan raises her glass toward my cousin. Everything proceeding exactly as legally agreed. We gather around the fireplace as evening approaches, the four of us forming a circle of hard-won trust. On the stone mantel above us sits a simple frame containing a printout of my final family karma audit spreadsheet, the words "account settled" written in bold across the bottom. To chosen family, Rebecca says, raising her glass. To independence, Greer adds. To boundaries with consequences, Morgan offers with professional satisfaction. I look around at these women who stood beside me when blood relations failed. To freedom. Later, after they've gone, I sit on the dock with my feet dangling above the water. The lake stretches before me, vast and uncomplicated. My phone buzzes in my pocket. Mom, appearing on the screen with that old country song ringtone I never changed. I silence it without answering and watch the sun sink lower, painting the water in warm gold. The weight that lived between my shoulder blades for years has finally dissolved. Independence isn't what made me unworthy of their help. Independence is what finally set me free. If your family uses your strength as a reason to withhold support while draining your resources, would you have the courage to show them exactly how independent you can be? What would your family karma audit reveal if you started keeping track today? Share your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one.